What is going on, guys, and welcome back to the channel. If you guys seen a couple videos back, we picked up this little Honda that's right here behind me. Picked it up super cheap. It had been sitting for a few years and we got it back to running and driving. I've been driving it around a little bit and it's been driving pretty good. So the end goal with this car is to do a 5-speed swap and slap a turbo on it, which we've already got some parts that we've started collecting to do that. But before we get into ripping it apart, I'd like to get it on the dyno and see what it makes as is so that we know what numbers we're starting with. So that's what we're gonna do today. We're gonna get this thing warmed up and head over to the dyno and see what we can make with this little D15 with an automatic transmission. So let's get through the intro and jump right into today's video. So now that we've gotten through the intro, I want to give you guys a quick look at some of the parts that we've started collecting for this thing. So as you can see here, we've got a 5-speed transmission. He left us the pigtails so that it should be easier to wire up. These axles he cut, but we might have some axles that should work for it. Then we've got some other miscellaneous hardware for it, some engine and transmission mounts. We've got a gas, clutch, and brake pedal, an intake manifold, and then a flywheel, clutch, and pressure plate. I'm not sure the condition of the flywheel or clutch, but when we start that project, we'll take it apart and look at it. So let's go ahead, get the car warmed up, and head to the dyno. Alright guys, so we are on our way to the dyno. This is the first time I've had this thing on the highway. It's chugging along pretty decent here. No crazy shakes or vibrations or anything. So pretty impressed with that. Still has the tires that were on it when it sat for 4 years. So it's doing pretty damn good, and our backyard alignment worked out good. So keep heading to the dyno and get this thing strapped down and see what this little thing can make. All right guys, so we just got out here to STOHL Innovations. We're getting this thing strapped down to see what we can make with it. You guys leave your guesses in the comments below. I'm gonna guess right around 85. So let's get this thing strapped down, get it rolling, and see what happens. Alright guys, so we just made 2 shakedown pulls and it made a little bit less than I was guessing, but still not bad. We've got 7670 at 5700. So didn't do too bad. Now we've got a couple ideas here. I think I'm gonna go ahead and pop the air filter out of it and cut the muffler off, just because gotta channel my inner Honda boy. So let's go ahead and get this thing cooled down a little bit and we'll make another run. right, guys, as you see, we just cut the muffler off. So we got that off and the filter out of it, and we want to try something with this intake real quick. Got it zip tied so that the fan's blowing right in it. So just to see what's gonna happen here. We're gonna get this thing back up to temp and run it again and see what it does. See if we can hit 80 maybe, that'd be cool. So let's get it fired back up.
Starting to get some coolant temp going and before we start blasting everything in there.
See what this race car sounds like. There it is. That's the mood right there.
That actually sounds pretty good. Give it a little red. Oh, yeah.
Bro, I'll take it.
That is not bad. I've heard so much worse. I'm like a nice exhaust.
I thought it was gonna be bad.
I did too.
guys, so we just got this thing unstrapped from the dyno. Classic move, cutting the muffler off while it's on the dyno. But let's go ahead and take a look at the graph real quick. Now remember, we didn't mess around with any tuning software, completely stock computer. When we came in, it was at 76 horsepower and 89 foot-pounds of torque. Cut the muffler off and messed around with the intake, and we got it up to 80 horsepower and 93 foot-pounds of torque. You guys could hear it in one of the clips there. This thing was definitely starting to lean pop with the muffler off and the intake off. So that's basically where we ended it. We were gonna spray some nitrous at it, but this thing was definitely already out of fuel. So we didn't want to push our luck, since we do plan on throwing a turbo on this thing and see what it'll make. But super cool to see the baseline that we are starting at now, so that when we do get the turbo and 5-speed in here, we can see how much we gain. I think it's gonna pick up some with the 5-speed alone, because you don't have torque converter losses and whatnot. So that'll be interesting, and then even more interesting once we get the turbo on it and see what this thing's gonna make. So let's go ahead, fire this thing up, back it out, and head home. So we just got back from the dyno with the Honda, and I noticed there's a package here waiting for me. They're just some LED bulbs, some cheap ones from Amazon. So I'm gonna go ahead and throw them in real quick, and we can take a peek at the difference. They actually look pretty decent for how cheap they were. They got little cooling fans and whatnot. They look pretty decent, so I'm curious to see if they are any brighter than what we've got in here now. So I was gonna turn it around, but I'm just gonna leave it like that. We'll kill all these lights, kick the headlights on high and low beam, and then we will slap these in there real quick and see if we can tell a difference. All right guys, so this is low beam. Sorry about the beeping, the annoying beep. That's from inside the car. That's high beam. Let's go ahead and throw the LEDs in and see if we have much of an improvement. These things are way brighter, so let's go ahead and kick the low beams back on. High beams, low beams, high beams, low beams. Definitely a lot brighter than they were a second ago. Let's go take this thing for a ride and see what we think. All right guys, so this is the new lights. They're actually not bad. That's low beam, high beam. So they're really not bad at all, especially for the money. I think they're pretty good LEDs, especially for like 35, 40 bucks. So I'll make sure to put a link in the description. It'll be my Amazon affiliate link. So if you guys want to pick some up, go ahead and check out that link. Let's head back to the house. Alright guys, so we just got back to the house and I'm going to wrap up today's video. I had a blast messing around on the dyno today with the Honda. It was fun just to see what we could get out of that thing. I can't wait to see what we're going to be able to do with the 5-speed swap and the turbo. We've got just about everything we need to do the 5-speed swap, and turbo parts are starting to trickle in. We've also got to get the ProCharge GTO back out to the dyno with some E85 in the tank and see what this thing's going to make. So make sure to stay tuned for that. As always, I appreciate you guys for checking out the channel. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, and ring that bell, and we will catch you on the next one.